Okay, so independent clauses. We're going to be focusing on what are called simple and compound sentences. First, what is a clause? A clause is anything that has a subject and a main verb. It's not a phrase, although it may contain phrases within it. So, what's an independent clause? Okay, now this is going to be a big deal. We're going to focus a lot on independent clauses. It's one of the core things of our whole grammar unit. An independent clause has a subject and a main verb, and it makes sense on its own as a sentence. That's the key. So, Sally sneezed, period. There you go. Subject, verb, we can put a period on it, makes sense. Joe spoke for everyone to hear. Same thing. Subject, verb, we can put a period at the end of this, and it makes sense. Rita was late for lunch. Okay, now notice that the bottom two examples contain phrases. We have the prepositional phrase, for everyone to hear, and for lunch. These phrases are part of the clause. However, if we delete them, the clause still exists. Joe spoke, Rita was late, and not only that, they are still independent clauses. Okay, so just keep that in mind. A phrase can be part of a clause. Okay, what makes an independent clause? So to review, independent clauses have a subject, they have a main verb, and they make sense as sentences on their own. Now, what if you have multiple subjects and multiple verbs? Okay, sometimes an independent clause can have multiple subjects, multiple verbs, or even both. When this happens, we have to ask a big question. Are all of the subjects doing all of the same verbs? If yes, we will have what's called a simple sentence. If not, we're going to have something else. Okay, so remember that term, simple sentence. All right, that's what an independent clause is. It is a simple sentence. So here's an example. The kids and the dogs ran and played at the park. Okay, ran and played, those are our verbs. Who or what is doing this? Well, kids and dogs. So now, to make more of a visual, let's take a look at our subjects and our verbs. Okay, so again, if I kind of draw this out, all right, who ran? Kids ran. Okay, well, so did the dogs. Okay, so who ran? Kids ran, dogs ran. Who played? Kids played, dogs played. All of our subjects are all doing the same verbs. It's all just one big independent clause, or in other words, it's what we call a simple sentence. And this is the key right here. When all of the subjects are doing all of the same verbs, it's a simple sentence, or in other words, just one independent clause. The delete test still works. Okay, you might be wondering if this will complicate the way we figure out if action words are functioning as verbs or as something else. Fortunately, the delete test still works, just don't delete the conjunction and. The kids and the dogs ran and played at the park. Okay, if I delete either one of those verbs, the whole sentence falls apart. The kids and the dogs and played at the park. Nope, doesn't work. The kids and the dogs ran and at the park. Doesn't work. What this is showing us is that both ran and played are main verbs. The sentence depends on both of them. Okay, so that's how we know that they are both main verbs. All right, this is also true for subjects. Now, things to watch for. There's a group of words we call fanboys: for and nor, but, or, yet, so. The presence of conjunctions, such as fanboys, tell us that we will have a sentence that either has multiple subjects, multiple verbs, or both. And in some cases, conjunctions let us know there is more than one clause. Okay, when do we have something more than just a simple sentence? We know that we have more than just a simple sentence, more than one independent clause, when we have different subjects doing different verbs. So let's look at our example that we just looked at, but change it just a little bit. The kids played at the park and the dogs ran. Okay, played and ran, they're still our verbs. And our subjects are still kids and dogs. But now when we do the visual, we get something just a little bit different. The way this is worded, okay, look at how the change happens. Who played? Kids played. That's it. Who ran? Dogs ran. That's it. There's no crossover. All right? This time, what we have instead of the kids and the dogs both doing all of the verbs, they're each only doing one. The kids played, dogs ran. Okay, so what are we left with? What we're left with in this situation is multiple independent clauses, in this case two, working together to create what's called a compound sentence. The kids played at the park and the dogs ran. Okay, the first independent clause is this: the kids played at the park. The second independent clause is the dogs ran. They're connected by the fanboy and. Okay, so we have two independent clauses and they're connected by a conjunction, this connecting word. It makes a compound sentence. Officially, the definition of a compound sentence is any sentence that is composed of multiple independent clauses and no other types of clauses. Now, special note on pronouns. When it comes to identifying which subjects are doing which verbs, keep in mind that when we have a sentence that mentions someone or something by name, but then uses a pronoun for that person later, we need to focus on the separate words, okay? Even if the words are technically referring to the same thing or mean the same thing. We must ask ourselves specifically what word is doing the verb. So, for example, Mike bought steaks and he grilled them. Okay, our verbs are highlighted in red: bought and grilled. Now, if I ask, okay, who did this? Who bought? Who grilled? The answers are, you could say, well, it's Mike in both cases. In terms of the meaning of the sentence, yes, that's true. But with grammar, what I'm looking for is what word acted on bought? What word acted on grilled? And the answer is this: the word Mike is the thing that acted on bought. The word he is what acted on grilled. So this is a compound sentence. All right. We have two different subjects, okay? Two different, or what I should say is two different words, okay, that are functioning as subjects. And each of these subjects is acting upon a different verb. Mike bought, he grilled. Okay, again, so when it comes to grammar, focus on the separate words rather than the meaning. Okay, so if we ask who did this or what did this, focus on the word. Okay, Mike bought, he grilled. Compound sentence. To review, a simple sentence is when all the subjects are doing all the same verbs. It's just one independent clause. A compound sentence, when different subjects are doing different verbs, multiple independent clauses, and no other types of clauses are part of it. And we'll talk about those other types of clauses later. Watch out for conjunctions, fanboys, and other kinds. They mark multiple subjects, verbs, or even multiple independent clauses. Focus on the words, not the meaning. Mike and he are both functioning as subjects, even though they refer to the same person.